Hey tribe, Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. Thanks so much for being here and for supporting the channel and me. I truly appreciate it. And I appreciate each and every one of you for watching, and especially my tribe supporters for all of the extra help I get from them. Welcome back to another Monday Milepost Mailbag. Because I'm reading comments, some of this is scripted, so sometimes I might have my glasses on, sometimes I might have them off, sometimes I might just riff on whatever pops into my head. So let's go ahead and roll the intro and find out which way I'm going to roll today.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
Welcome back. Let's jump into this week's mailbag. Well, see, actually, I'm going to start riffing already. I'm not real sure how this shows up on video when you're watching this, but man, when I look at the camera view when I'm recording, I can really tell where my sunglasses outline. It's like I'm really tan every place except right around my eyes. So go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know if it really looks that way to you. And yeah, sorry, I'm not doing any touch-ups. What you see is what you get, and you pretty much know that when you're seeing me and getting me. So there's that. So, as you may or may not know, if you're new to the mailbag, and this is episode 23, by the way, I'm still kind of shocked by that, but if you're new to the mailbag, basically what this is a chance to catch up kind of in real time, and I go through some of your comments and comment on some of them on camera. And we always have a special shout out to our Airmail Shoutout poster of the week, which may be a poster, might be a mailbag, might be a community member who has done something in person that's worthy of a shout out as far as I'm concerned. And you know, see, here I go riffing. I'm riffing all over the place, guys. Part of what just occurred to me is that if you see somebody that is behaving in a way that you think deserves a shout out, go ahead and let me know that. If you're not comfortable letting me know that in a comment, a couple of different ways you can do it. You can send an email to viewer@sallyforth.us. And my email address is always in the description of the video for everybody down below. And we're going to be able to interact more closely on Patreon starting as of today. We'll talk about more about that in a little bit. So we had coffee talk yesterday in our live stream. So this one feels more like the conversation after the conversation. It's a chance to slow things down just a little bit and respond a little more thoughtfully, and make sure that the people who took the time to comment feel seen. So, as always, if you usually watch quietly, it's a safe place to jump in. And that's what we'll do right now. Let's dive into some of this week's comments, starting with a few from yesterday's live replay. And I'm starting with a viewer whose YouTube handle I always mess up. No, I'm not. I'm starting with somebody else. Sorry. We're going to get back to that. There is a comment from a viewer whose handle I always mess up, though, and I'll let you know who that is. Well, it'll become really obvious when I get there. And hopefully after the meetup, I won't be messing up that person's handle anymore. And speaking of the meetup, make sure you stay all the way through to the end for the date and the time and all that kind of stuff. All right, so first of all, from yesterday's live stream, RC Maniac, whose real name is Brett, commented, "I'm going to play it by ear on how long I stay for the meetup. I'll already be in the area by then, so I should be there right about the time it starts. I'll have my dog Sasha with me, on a leash, of course. Sasha is also tolerant of other dogs, but not people. So please don't try to pet her, even though she's cute and cuddly. It's a trap. LOL. See you then." I love that thought. First of all, Brett, thank you for saying it so clearly. And yes, Sasha and Kit really sound that they are cut from the same cloth, or, you know, came from the same mold, or whatever way you want to put that. And maybe they'll become best friends. And, you know, just ignore the people that are around them. And I've got to say, I mean, I suffer from the same problem, and I have a very, very reactive dog. And the problem that I suffer from is, even though Brett has just very clearly set this boundary for me and for everybody else who's coming to the meetup, and I have said it very clearly with regard to Kit, it is still difficult for me sometimes, as I know it is for most people who love dogs, to resist the urge to just reach out and pet a dog. So I want to gently but clearly say, for everyone, please don't ever approach or reach for a dog without the owner's permission, no matter how stinking cute they look. That's good road etiquette, and it's good human etiquette. I am looking forward to seeing you, Brett. Where's my reactive puppy dog? Here, come on up here. Let's see. Oh, am I waking you up again? I'm waking you up. Can you say hello to the people? They're in here. They're in here, kid. No, not those people out there. We got people walking by. All right. And he's adorable, but he bites. And in fact, we were out the other night. We've got neighbors not too far away from us who have a dog about his size who is incredibly cute. And I'm going to name him. I don't know if you guys are watching, but Bentley is Kit's bestie in La Posa South. And so whenever he sees Bentley walking by with his dad or mom, he immediately starts whining and barking and wants to go out and play. And it's pretty cute because both of them will be like straining to get to each other on their leashes. And so Mark and I were out chatting the other evening, and we're just standing there. And I don't remember what it was. He saw something on the ground, and he reached down right in front of Kit to pick it up and got bit. Fortunately, not badly. And then Mark is immediately apologizing to me, and I'm joking about this, but I also want to make it really clear, guys, at least from my perspective. He says, well, I knew better, because we've talked about it before, and, Kit's reactive, don't reach for him, don't touch him, all this stuff, he may bite you. And so now Mark is apologizing to me for my dog's bad behavior. And all I can do is say, I am really sorry that this is who he is. It's who, it's how he was conditioned. It's what happened before he was rescued. I have worked really hard to do the best that I can to mitigate those issues, but the best mitigation is don't reach for him. And so I'll try not to do that with Sasha either. Also from yesterday's live, Kentucky Lucky 5762 says, great points on the E-trike. People need to figure out load and unload. Plus, can you cycle it? Because of my knee disabilities, a scooter, seated, or a gas one is all I can do. And that's a really, really important point. Mobility choices are personal, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Whether you can load or unload, whether you can mount or dismount, how to store it, all of that stuff matters much more than specs on paper. So I really appreciate you sharing your experience around that for yourself. All of these things help other people maybe think about something that they otherwise might not have thought about. And for those following along, I was able to get out for an E-trike ride yesterday afternoon. Jim, bless him, replaced the tube on my E-trike for me on Saturday. I would say he helped, but, he did it. I started to film it. I didn't get much in there. I did, however, film mounting and dismounting before I went out for the ride yesterday. So that video will be coming out soon, and hopefully that'll be helpful to people that have mobility issues and want to see what it really looks like. And I talked through that a little bit as well. So, again, same video. JMKC 740, that's Josh, says, hi, Sally and the Kitster. Hope to make it Sunday for coffee. Well, always good to see you, Josh, but he didn't make it. This was from the community post. And so in this case, he caught it on a replay, and I really do appreciate the steady presence and, always the help behind the scenes, too. So we had one of my first questions in the live stream always is, where are you watching from? And so we got a couple of those I'm going to share with you. USMC-TC6GD, whose name I have no idea what that is. But I think you're a relatively new viewer, or at least a new commenter. And if you're watching this one, let me know. And if you want to share your name, let me know that too. First name's fine, just so I know what to call you besides USMC. And I'm going to guess that means you're retired military, so I'll say thank you for your service. Anyway, USMC says, sitting here in North Bend, Washington, enjoying your videos, Sally. Have a great day. I love hearing where people are watching from. North Bend, Washington, in this case, thank you for checking in and for being here. I don't know exactly where that is, but I'm going to end my summer travels in Washington, so chances are I could be coming through there. You never know. Let's see what else we got. From Donald Sewell 7876. I can see and hear good in Georgia, and this was on the replay. So starting off, I say, hey, let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. And of course, when you're getting it on a replay, chances are pretty good that you can, because otherwise it wouldn't actually get posted by YouTube. So, perfect. Thank you for your response, Donald. Thanks for confirming that. And hello to Georgia. Next up, we've got from the community post, Coffee is Poured. Final prep is happening now. Laura Lynn 1056, which I can't help saying it that way, and I now do have her name down pat, said, enjoyed your show today. Thank you, Lorelei. And I want to pause on that word, show. I really appreciate you saying that. It tells me I can't talk now. It tells me that this space felt intentional, and that means a lot to me. And so that brings me to this week's Airmail Shoutout, which is going to go to Lorelei. Thank you for showing up, for your support, and for being part of this community in such a thoughtful way. That kind of presence really does keep this whole thing moving forward, keeps me motivated, hopefully keeps you guys engaged. So thank you for that, and congratulations to Lorelei. Don't forget to leave her a congrats in the comments down below when you see this video. And again, if you've got somebody you want to recommend, please do. Let's see, we're still talking First Sunday Coffee Talk. Some of these are community posts and some of them are from the video themselves. Angela Ann YL8RP says, thank you always, my friend. Hugs and love back at you and Kit. From Yes, and yes, I can hug. Baby sleeps in bed with me. He's my angel for sure. We're talking about her umbrella cockatoo named Angel. So Angela is my viewer. Angel is her cockatoo. And this is an exchange that went back and forth because I said hugs back to Angel when I was writing to Angela last week. And then I said, if you can actually hug a cockatoo, and apparently you can. So she always makes me smile. Please give Angel a gentle hug from me and Kit. And thank you for the warmth that you bring into this space. Josh says, I missed it. This is in reference, he posted this on the video platform. So let's just back up. Remember, he said, hope to see you on Sunday. And yeah, he didn't quite make it. But that's why replays matter. You're always welcome, whether you can catch things live or after the fact. Josh and everyone else. Barb Connors says she was watching from Pilot Knob on Sidewinder Road. And again, these are all the replay responses, guys. These are, we actually had quite a few people that were active in the live while we were live, which was very, very nice. And I appreciate everybody who shows up live because it makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself. Pretty great place to be watching from. And it's proof that this tribe really is everywhere. So that's always cool. From the video, Knife River Indian Villages surprised me. Kentucky Lucky 5762 says, I love that 2 Google hours. Beautiful campgrounds, lovely scenery drive. And yeah, so the 2 Google hours thing is when I was leaving on that day, our destination was to get to Knife River Indian Villages. And Google says roughly 2 hours. I don't remember exactly what the number was. But 2 hours, I think, turned into about 4.5 by the time we actually got there. That 2 Google hours thing is very real. And I'm glad you enjoyed the scenery. North Dakota surprised me, too. A whole lot more than I really expected it to. So the basic rule of thumb for me on Google hours is if it's a travel day and I know that I'm going to be making any intentional stops, I pretty much just double it. If it's going to turn into an errand day, like if I've got to get fuel, if I've got to get propane, if I've got to get groceries, if I have to do laundry. Well, if I got to do laundry, all bets are off. But if it's just, normal errands like fuel, groceries, propane, water, dump, that kind of stuff, pretty much double it. If I'm not doing anything, it's generally at least 1.5 times. RV travel is slower than Google believes it is. For one thing, I'm never doing the speed limit that they're posting, especially in places like Montana and Wyoming, where the speed limit is like 80 miles an hour. I'm not going to do that. That would just be crazy talk. We're back on the First Sunday Coffee Talk again. G-Money Is It, that's Dorian, says, Happy New Year from Florida. Well, Happy New Year to Florida. And it's always really fun to hear where people are checking in from. And here's the one whose handle I always mess up. Frogaze on button up. Frogaz on button up. 950. I don't know. But hopefully she is planning to come to the meetup, so hopefully I'll find out by then, if not before. Says, I also don't use Facebook nor have satellite internet yet. This will help tremendously. We were talking about getting good, clear directions and posting how to be able to get to the meetup. So I'm glad that that helped. And you're definitely not alone. That's exactly why I wanted everything laid out as clearly and visually as I possibly can to make it as easy as possible so that you won't have any excuse for not coming to the meetup. How about that? So before I wrap this up today, I want to give you an important update. Patreon is open now. And what you'll see there today is going to be the welcome post. On Tuesday, that's tomorrow in my real time, and depending on when you're watching it, it might be tomorrow or it might be sometime later. But starting tomorrow, you'll see the first opportunity to truly interact, and it's an invitation to state an intention or report on progress, even if you never said the intention out loud in the first place. I really hope that you'll join, and you can join Patreon for free. And once you're in, you can explore the other participation options and decide if you want to upgrade for, more benefits or whatever works for you. I want a community where we can feel safe together. And one reason for introducing Patreon is that YouTube does not allow free memberships. All YouTube memberships are paid, but Patreon gives us a space that is accessible to everyone. Now, just to be clear, that doesn't mean that everything that gets posted on Patreon is available to all free members. Okay? Some things will only be available to members who are actually supporting the channel, and they'll get some special perks, get some Zoom calls and stuff like that. There's a bunch of things. And I guess let me say a little bit more about this post that's going to go up tomorrow, and I'm going to give you a little background on how I got here and why I decided to do this and why I decided to make this the place to start and to make it available to free members as well as paid. So here's the deal. Everybody makes not everybody. Many people make New Year's resolutions. I'm not one of them. I'm just not. I stated some clear intentions for myself about a month ago based on things that I want to change. And I'll share one of them with you. One of them is that I wanted to be much more intentional about consistently reaching my goals for yoga and stretching. My goals being, how frequently I'm going to be doing this and, how much effort is going to go into it. And I am pleased to say that for the most part, I have been pretty satisfied with how well I've been doing with that. And in fact, that'll be another video coming up for you, and I'm both excited and embarrassed about it. I filmed it, I think about 2 weeks ago at this point, when I was still very, very stiff and not very flexible yet. But one of the things that I learned a long time ago is public, not perfect. And if you wait until something is perfect, then it never goes public and you don't get to share with people what might turn out to be the most useful for them. And part of the reason I wanted to film it when I was still really inflexible is that very often people will believe that they can't do something because they don't have some baseline from which to start. And the whole point of showing it to you in the way that I'm going to is you can start from anywhere. You don't need to have any kind of flexibility already. You can do whatever. And so since that video will be coming out soon, and there's a thing called Pearson's Law, and I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but I learned about this in my work life and I've always been an entrepreneur. I've never actually worked for anybody else. I had to be self-motivated. I had to be willing to, pull myself up by the bootstraps and do all of the things that needed to be done, or stuff just didn't get done, right? But when I learned about Pearson's Law, here's the thing. Whatever it is that we measure, we can improve. And so with the yoga and stretching, I have a calendar entry set to tell me the days and times, to remind me on the days and times that I intend to be doing that, so that I can then make a check mark that says that I've done it. Because in addition to anything we measure, we can improve. Anything we measure, record, that's my check mark, and report, and that's what this first post is going to be all about. we can improve exponentially. And I am hopeful that one or all or some of you may decide that this is something that might be useful to you as well. So the way that I'm setting it up is you can state what your intention is, what your goal is, what it is that you are working on, that you're trying to improve, or a habit you want to make, or a habit you want to break. And I'll be honest, I also have a habit that I'm working on breaking. I'm not reporting it publicly. I'll tell you what, I will report it to you when I feel like I have successfully made enough progress. But it is also tied to my intention regarding yoga and stretching. So when I'm reporting on one, I'm reporting on both, whether you realize that or not. And that's what's important. You don't have to say exactly what your intention is. You don't have to say it out loud. You can hold that in your heart and it's a-okay. So I really do hope that you'll join, and I hope that you may find some use in this. And as you'll see when you get to Patreon and see that post tomorrow, there are some rules around this, because I want to make sure that it remains a space that is safe and kind and encouraging, and where people can recognize themselves and be recognized by others if others want to do that. But it's got to be kind, and it's got to be respectful. So, a couple of rules around it, not too much. Anyway, that's what's going on with Patreon. And I hope it really develops into what I'm envisioning, but that's only going to happen if you help me get there. So go sign up for free. Doesn't cost anything. And then decide if you want to, pay later or not. Doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. So, Meetup. We're getting there, guys. Today is January 5th. We're meeting on the 16th. So we're like less than 10 days away now. I guess 10 days. We are 10 days away. We will be meeting between 12 and 3. That's going to be our window of opportunity. And we will be Quartzsite adjacent. We're going to be in Roadrunner, which is about 5-6 miles south of Quartzsite. And I will be posting full details, signage. There'll be what 3 words, how to find us with or without Facebook. But you can get more information about all of this stuff if you watch the Coffee Talk replay from our live stream yesterday, and there'll be more info coming up, of course. So, as always, thanks for being part of this tribe, whether you comment every week or quietly watch from wherever you are in our world. And until next time, bye for now. See you soon.